Hi everyone, today, we're going to take a look at the 5 best 50mm lens for Sony cameras on the market for this year. First, we're going to show you our 5 best picks, then we'll talk about what you should look for before buying a best 50mm lens for Sony cameras. You can find timestamps and links to all the products we mention in this video down in the description below. Let's get started. 50mm is one of the most popular focal lengths in photography. In this guide, we are going to help you choose the best 50mm lens for Sony cameras. You can never go wrong with a 50mm lens. It has a standard, yet versatile focal length that you can use for a lot of situations. It is slightly narrower and therefore, not good for landscapes. Similarly, it is not long enough to capture telephoto shots. However, it delivers good results every time no matter whatever use you put it to. Best Sony 50mm lenses. We are going to share our experience of pairing 50mm lenses with our Sony cameras in this video. The guide will also help you choose the best Sony 50mm lens for your camera. We strive to provide authentic, accurate, and latest information and independent sources for you to take the right buying decision. Here is the comparison table of the lenses for your convenience. Number 5. Sigma 311954 50mm lens for Sony cameras. Sigma Art 50mm f1.4 DG is one of the heaviest 50mm lenses on the market. However, you need this lens if you prefer imager sharpness over everything else. Features. The best feature of the lens is amazing image quality and sharpness across the board. The CA correction is also excellent besides very good chroma correction and low vignetting. As you can imagine, the f1.4 aperture is ideal for producing a splendid bokeh. Similarly, the lens is perfect for low light and astrophotography because of its exceptional light gathering abilities. The 50mm focal length becomes 75mm when used on APS-C cameras. Therefore, you can also use it for medium telephoto shots. The autofocus performance is also satisfactory. The lens has an easily reachable manual focus ring. The focal point sharpness is incredible even when wide open. Drawbacks. The major drawback is of course the massive weight, size of the lens. Other than that, it is a pretty good lens for Sony DSLR cameras. Our verdict. Sigma Art 50mm f1.4 offers a decent price to performance ratio. The lens is quite heavy but delivers pristine image quality and incredible image sharpness, something most people long for. Pros. Amazing image quality. Incredible sharpness across the board. Excellent low light performance. Beautiful bokeh. Great for astrophotography. Low vignetting. Good price to performance ratio. Cons. Very big and heavy. Number 4. Sony SEL50 f1.4Z 50mm lens for Sony cameras. Sony Zeiss planar 50mm f1.4 ZA is known for its superb autofocus and speed. It is the lens for you if you need amazing sharpness and rich colors. Features. First of all, the lens delivers sharpness from center to edges even at wide apertures. The colors are extremely rich with very high contrast. It also corrects axial colors much better than other fast lenses. Sony Zeiss planar 50mm f1.4 is much better than its only major competitor, that is Samyang 50mm f1.4 in all respects. It has faster and more accurate autofocus even though it is not the fastest. Sony's lens is also more reliable with a better build quality. Similarly, it offers superior image quality than that of Samyang's lens. The low light performance is also terrific thanks to the f1.4 wide aperture. The wide aperture and 12 blades result in a decent defocused bokeh effect as well. The overall build quality is better than other lenses in the ZA series. The aperture ring is also nice and damped. Our verdict. Sony Zeiss planar is the best 50mm lens for Sony E-mount cameras in its class. It has a fast aperture with accurate autofocus. Similarly, the image quality is second to none and no other lens can deliver such rich colors. Pros. Amazing image sharpness from center to edges. Rich colors with very high contrast. Excellent bokeh. Superb low light performance. Cons. Slightly expensive. Number 3. Sony SEL50 f2.5G 50mm lens for Sony cameras. Sony released both Sony FE50mm f2.5G full-frame and Sony FE50mm f1.2 GM lenses within a very short period. You may want to skip the former lens and go for the latter. Let me tell you what, Sony FE50mm f2.5G has a lot more to offer than you can think of. Features. First of all, it is an extremely lightweight and small lens. You can take it to the places where Sony FE50mm f1.2 GM simply cannot go. Similarly, you can use it on cameras like Sony A7 and A7E all day long without aching your arm. It does not imbalance the camera like other heavy E-mount lenses for Sony. The aperture ring is also very positive and firm but extremely smooth when you have to delicate for video. The lens does not have a focus distance scale unfortunately, and therefore, you are not able to work with depth of field. The lens is just terrific when it comes to performance. It featured dual linear autofocus motors that work quickly, smoothly, and silently. Drawbacks. The lens does not have image stabilization. However, it is not a big deal because Sony A7 series cameras have built-in image stabilization. Similarly, it is a full 2 stops slower than FE50mm f1.2 GM and doesn't offer as good performance in low light. Pros. Lightweight and compact. Excellent optical performance. Superb image quality. Fast and silent autofocus. Cons. Not as fast as its competitors. Number 2. Sony SEL50 f1.8f 250mm lens for Sony cameras. Secondly, we have a cheap lens on our list for people with a tight budget. You will have to compromise on build quality and sharpness. Still, it is a very capable lens and can deliver impressive performance considering its price. Features. The lens has a large aperture ideal for low-light photography and creating a beautiful background blur. Similarly, it has a 7-blade circular diaphragm for a beautiful defocused effect. The lens is lightweight and compact and you can easily carry it during photo shoots or events such as weddings and birthdays. EF50mm comes with spherical elements to counter chroma and spherical aberration. However, the corners are slightly hazy and soft. But, most people will marvel at the beauty of the background blur rather than closely observing the corners. The lens also decreases image distortion and field curvature using a double glass configuration. The autofocus is also super fast but up to f4 only. It needs more time to track objects at wider apertures. Drawbacks. The build quality is not as good as its more expensive counterparts. Similarly, corners are soft and obscure at wider apertures. Pros. Beautiful background blur. Excellent performance in low light. Fast autofocus up to f4. Best for beginners. Lightweight and compact. Very cheap native lens. Cons. Low build quality. Soft and hazy corners at wider apertures. Number 1. Sony SEL50 f1.2 GM 50mm lens for Sony cameras. Sony FE50mm f1.2 GM is a new and wonderful addition to the standard 50mm series of lenses. It is quite expensive but worth its price for the fantastic features and functions it offers. Features. Before the arrival of Sony FE50mm f1.2 GM, the two most popular 50mm f1.2 lenses were Canon EF 50mm f1.2 for DSLRs and Canon RF 50mm f1.2 for its mirrorless cameras. Its other main competitor is Nikon Z 50mm f1.2s. However, the Sony's lens is cheaper than both Canon's and Nikon's lenses and it is more lightweight as well. The full-frame lens delivers exceptional performance in low light thanks to the extremely wide f1.2 aperture. It also allows fast shutter speed, enabling you to shoot beautiful handheld shots without massively increasing the ISO. Not to mention, fast apertures also result in a shallower depth of field. The lens creates a sumptuous background blur using the 11-blade circular diaphragm and f1.2 aperture. Keep in mind that the competing Nikon and Canon lenses have 9 and 10 blades respectively. Pros: great handling, brilliant sharpness even at f1.2, robust construction, weather sealing, super fast autofocus, beautiful bokeh, excellent performance in low light, shallow depth of field. Cons: heavy vignetting at f1.2, undoubtedly expensive.